Hey, this is exactly how I got my start in a hot rod shop. I didn't get it because I was talented. I got the opportunity because I was willing to push a broom and I was willing to keep my mouth shut. The year was 1987. I was 21 years old. Yeah, I had already been to tech school and I was actually a college student and I was married. But back in the day, it wasn't about resumes and interviews, it was about connection and it was about willingness. Back then there was virtually no internet, there was no YouTube. It was all about connection. It wasn't about anything other than gaining experience and knowledge from other people who were a lot older and a lot smarter. Knowledge lived inside of buildings, and as I said, you didn't show up with a resume, you showed up willing. You would sweep, you would watch, you would ask questions, you would stay after hours. You did whatever you had to do to earn trust. And as trust was earned, more responsibility was given. You see, it wasn't about needing a career, it was about hoping for opportunity. Now, this episode is not about decrying the young generation and their unwillingness to work. I don't believe that's true. I think the young generation doesn't even know these kinds of opportunities existed in the past. And I think if they did, they might be willing to push a broom and be available to learn some skills. You see, us old farts, we don't teach, we demonstrate. It's up to the apprentice, the shop sweeper, the whoever to learn. That's up to them. And I think the young generation is willing. I think the opportunities aren't there for them like they were for some of us. I think there's a lot of reasons why it's not happening. Some of it is the world we live in with all of the insurance requirements and safety requirements and all of the things that go with it make it a lot harder to do some of the things that we did back in the day. But I also think there's kind of this standoffishness with some of us older people who don't recognize that maybe there are some young people in our world who would love to push a broom in our shop just to be around some of this stuff, and being around some of this stuff could light their fire about being interested in it and wanting to know more. We've come to believe that the young people only are interested in the money, and that is true to a point, but not totally. And I can tell you that from personal experience in my actual business, my day job. My tech company has always been a training company to train young people in how to do technology so that they can go out into the workforce. We always had unpaid interns that worked for 3 months for college credit. And then if they were good, we would hire them onto the staff at lower wages, not minimum wage, but certainly not high wages, because we were still going to spend the next 3 years training them and equipping them to go out into the workforce. And that was our constant workflow. But in recent years, the universities have changed those programs and now require us to pay those students $25 an hour for their internship, as well as getting their college credit for the internship. And that just put us right out of the business of being able to do that kind of training. And so I think it's not that young people expect that, it's rather that's what they're told should happen. They don't know that they can do anything differently, and that's the way the world is today, and it's very, very unfortunate. How many of us have a shop with one car, or like me with 4 projects in here plus another 9 projects around the property? And we have opportunity. We would love to have some young buck come in, or gal come in, and want to push a broom and be around when we're working on stuff and just learn. That would be a tremendous thing for me. It could be a tremendous thing for them. And I would love to impart some of the skills and knowledge that I have to somebody like that who might like to go further in this kind of stuff. And that's an opportunity that's just not very readily available anymore, largely because a lot of us don't believe there's anybody who wants that opportunity anyway. I know that not everybody on the channel that watches this is an old fart, but a lot of us smell like one. The old fart that gave me my chance was younger than I am now by quite a bit. So, old fart is more of a mindset, I suppose, than anything, and also depends on your perspective, because at 21, somebody who's in their late 40s, early 50s seems really old. And when you're in your 60th year of life, that seems pretty young. Who do you know in your world who really is kind of interested and would love to come and just push a broom in your shop and hope to pick up some tidbits and just be around? really cool cars. Think about that. Give them a chance. Give them a shot. Take the risk. Yeah, I know liability and life is a risk. We get it. People can get hurt. We get it. A lot of these machines are dangerous. We get it. Working on cars is dangerous. We get it. You can also get hit by a bus crossing the street. But let me broaden this. Here's a reality. You don't have to be young to push a broom in a shop and be around stuff like this to learn. If you know people who have a shop like this and you're interested and would like to learn those skills, even if you're 60 or 70, volunteer. They would probably love to have you around, and they know you've got some life experience and a little more wisdom than somebody who's younger and maybe doesn't have that experience. But if you're young and you know somebody that has a shop like this or somebody who does work on cars and you're interested, ask for the opportunity. Be there, show interest. And again, if you're older like me and you know some young bucks that would be interested, or young gals, it's not just guys, that would be interested in being around this stuff, feel them out. Get an opportunity there, present them with an opportunity, and see if they're interested, and take a chance. Give them the opportunity to pick your brain and be around stuff, because the reality is, no matter whose age comes in the door of the shop, they look at what's here and they go, wow, this is pretty cool. And it is. It really is. If nobody's offering you a shop floor to sweep, find one to volunteer for. If nobody's offering to sweep your shop floor, find somebody. Invite them, give them the opportunity. That's the way we bridge the gap. That's the way we can make sure that what we do as our passion, some call it a hobby, some call it an obsession, whatever you call it, that's what we can do to ensure that this gets handed down to the next generation. All right, those are my thoughts today. Drop your comments down there. I hope it challenged your thinking a little bit. I hope it encouraged you. And some of you, I hope it gets you a little bit excited that there are opportunities out there if you keep your eyes open. All right, that'll do it. We'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget, because it's important.